Hi, I'm Marty Demko. This is a short story, science fiction, which is something I rarely use and do. Anyway, it's called Tom, and it goes like this. By the year 2040, the dystopians had been proven wrong. Jobs lost to automation have been replaced, not mainly by new jobs, but because of the 12,000 mile per hour nuclear-powered flying car. It can take off from any parking spot and go halfway around the world in an hour or less, so everyone can find a job with a reasonable commute length, even if they live in the U.S. and the job's in China. Marriage, that practice that usually ended up in divorce or in schlepping through life, has become unpopular, replaced by flexible pacts. Childbirth has become easy, and fetal death in childbirth virtually eliminated. How? Because nearly all moms choose to have their baby by curated in vitro fertilization and to gestate their baby in an incubator. School, which had been notorious for producing too little learning and too much antipathy, has been replaced by super courses, dream teams of the world's most transformational teachers giving interactive, individualized, gamified lessons online. Translated into 70 languages and available on smartphones, Supercourses enables every child, grade 4 through college, rich and poor, from Alabama to Zululand, to enjoyably learn to previously unthinkable heights. Recreation is deeply immersive, thanks to immersion rooms. Each home has one, in which all four walls, and the ceiling, and the floors are giant screens. Games in the immersion room allow a person to, for example, be inside a human body, explore the world or a planet light years away. Gene editing and embryo selection have dramatically reduced cancers, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. That has increased the average health span to 100, at which point most people, rather than decline painfully, take the La-La Land pill. Gene editing has prevented depression. But Tom, while not depressed, usually feels empty. His job is to monitor a bank of artificial superintelligence computers to ensure they don't do something nefarious. But while Tom could pull the plug, he wanted to be able to do the less drastic thing, reduce the computer's capability. But Tom's coding skills were, despite prodigious efforts, marginal, so he suffers from the imposter syndrome. But more dispiriting to Tom are the so-called equity amendments to the Constitution. The 37th Amendment, the Equal Pay Amendment, mandates that with few exceptions, everyone must be paid the same, no matter how much they exceed the minimum productivity requirement. While Tom knows that being more than minimally productive is core to a life well led, he can't make himself do more than the minimum. The 38th Amendment, the Fair Living Amendment, mandates that residences be no larger than 20 square yards per resident. That's 180 square feet per resident. So a family of 4 is limited to 80 square yards, or 720 square feet. As a result, many people who lived in larger homes or apartments were forced to sell it, or rent to enough people to get down to the 20 square yards per person. The Fair Living Amendment also mandates that the population in all census tracts be within 10% of proportionality to the local population. So, homeowners are forced to pay members of underrepresented groups to move into their census tract. The 39th Amendment, the Racial Compensatory Amendment, requires reparations to African Americans who descended from slavery, to Latinos who were descendants of victims of the Mexican-American War, to Chinese Americans whose ancestors were in the indentured servitude to build U.S. railroads, and the descendants of Japanese Americans who in World War II were placed in internment camps. To fund the Racial Compensatory Amendment, all other people are required to give 10% of their gross income each year until the tithe is scheduled to sunset in 2045. And the 40th Amendment, the Fair Partnership Amendment, requires each partner in a romantic relationship to report semi-annually whether their partner did at least 40% of the work in the relationship. That's a struggle for Tom, not because he doesn't want to do his part, but because he consistently feels drained. After work, he just wants to trudge into the immersion room. Even there, he usually has too little energy to play active games. He just wants to be flown around the various worlds. Tom's first attempt to lift himself from his malaise was to use his phone's Sigmund app. That's an AI virtual therapist that uses machine learning to become ever more effective with each patient. Sigmund helped, but not enough, so Tom tried Rise, the top-rated mood elevator, which activates a set of brain neurons and dulls another. The improvements Tom felt from Sigmund and Rise weren't enough to counter the ever more draining effects of his life, especially his imposter syndrome and the 4 equity amendments. One night, when Tom was too tired to even want to be flown around the immersion room, and too scared to tell his wife about the depths of his sadness, he went to the bedroom and stared at the La La Land pill. In any case, that story is called Tom. As usual, I welcome your thumbs up and accept your thumbs down. I always look forward to your comments, and especially like it if you hit the share button below. Share on your social media so that my efforts can have broader impact. And I am flattered if you choose to subscribe to my channel. In any event, I do thank you for watching. I am Marty Nemko.